Jayurahadhamādoma Kunjavihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jayodhanamahadoma Kunjavihari Gopijana-vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jayodhanamahadoma Kunjavihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhire Nashta Prayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Athaya Jata Yagnesham Kratubhi Bhuri Dakshinahai Kratubhir Bhuri Dakshinai Dravya Kriya Devatanam Karma Karma Phala Pradam Athaya Jata Yagnesham Kratubhi Bhuri Dakshinai Dravya Kriya Devatanam Karma Karma Phala Pradam Athaya Jata Yagnesham Katubhi Bhuri Dakshinai Dravya Kriya Devatanam Karma Karma Phala Pradam Hare Krishna. Anybody wants to chant?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धर्म प्रणाम। अथाय जता यज्ञेशं क्रतुर्भिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धर्म
हरे
प्रणाम।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अथाय जता यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणै द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्मा फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
अथेयते च
अथाय
यज्ञासां क्रतुर्भिर्भूरि दक्षिणः द्रव्यक्रिय देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अथाय जता यज्ञेशं कर्तुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणे द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अथाय तदज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणे द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। यथा यजत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणै द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अथाय जत यज्ञेशं भूभूरि दक्षिणे द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। अथाय जत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणै द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्म फलप्रदम्। हरे कृष्ण। धन्यवाद।
Done. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Atha, thereafter, Ayajata, he worshipped Yagna Isham, the master of sacrifices, Kratubihi, by sacrificial ceremonies, Bhuri, great, Dakshinai, by charities, Dravya Kriya Devatanam, of sacrifices, including various paraphernalia, activities, and demigods. Karma, the objective. Karmaphala, the result of activities. Pradam, who awards. As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are specially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all sacrifices, who awards the resultant benediction. As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are specially meant to please Lord Vishnu, whose objective of all sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. Yes, Supriti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. In Bhagavad Gita 3.9, it is said, Yajna karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhanaha. One should act or work only in order to please the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, one becomes entangled in the resultant reactions. According to 4 divisions of Varna and Ashrama, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are especially advised to perform great ceremonial sacrifices and to distribute their accumulated money very liberally. Dhruva Maharaj, as a king and ideal Kshatriya, performed many such sacrifices, giving very liberally in charity. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are supposed to earn their money and accumulate great riches. Sometimes they do it by acting sinfully. Kshatriyas are meant to rule over country, Dhruva Maharaj, for example, in the course of ruling, had to fight and kill many Ikshas. Such action is necessary to Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya should not be a coward and he should not be non-violent. To rule over the country, he has to act violently. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are therefore especially advised to give in charity at least 50% of their accumulated wealth. In Bhagavad Gita, it is recommended that even enters the renounced order of life, he still cannot give up the performance of yajna, dana, and tapasya. They are never to be given up. Tapasya is meant for the renounced order of life. Those who are retired from worldly activities should perform tapasya, penances, and austerities. Those who are in the material world, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, must give charity. Brahmacharis in the beginning of their lives should perform different kinds of yajnas. Dhruva Maharaj, as an ideal king, practically emptied his treasury by giving charity. A king is not meant simply to realize taxes from the citizens and accumulate wealth to spend in sense gratification. World monarchy has failed ever since kings began to satisfy their personal senses with the taxes accumulated from the citizens. Of course, whether the system is monarchy or democracy, the same corruption is still going on. At the present moment, there are different parties in the democratic government, but everyone is busy trying to keep his post or trying to keep his political party in power. The politicians have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens, whom they oppress with heavy taxes in the form of income tax, sales tax, and many other taxes. People sometimes have 80 to 90% of their income taken away, and these taxes are lavishly spent for the high salaries drawn by the officers and rulers. Formerly, the taxes accumulated from the citizens were spent for performing great sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. At the present moment, however, almost all forms of sacrifices are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended in the Shastras that people should perform Sankirtana Yajna. Any householder, regardless of his position, can perform this Sankirtana Yajna without expenditure. All the family members can sit down together and simply clap their hands and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Somehow or other, everyone can manage to perform such a yajna and distribute prasada to people in general. That is quite sufficient for this age of Kali. The Krishna conscious movement is based on this principle. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra at every moment, as much as possible, both inside and outside of the temples, and as far as possible, distribute prasada. This process can be accelerated with the cooperation of the state administrators and those who are producing the country's wealth. Simply by liberal distribution of prasada and sankirtana, the whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. Generally, in all the material sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature, there are offerings to the demigods. This demigod worship is especially meant for less intelligent men. Actually, the result of such sacrifice goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam. He is actually the enjoyer of all sacrifices. His name, therefore, is called Yagna Purusha. Although Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee and nothing to do with these sacrifices, to set an example to his people, he performed many sacrifices and gave all his wealth in charity. For as long as he lived as a householder, he never spent a farthing for his sense gratification. In this word, the word karma phalapradam is very significant. The Lord awards everyone different kinds of karma as the individual living entities desire. He is a super soul present within the heart of everyone, and he is so kind and liberal that he gives everyone full facilities to perform whatever acts one wants. Then the result of the action is also enjoyed by the living entity. If anyone wants to enjoy or lord it over material nature, the Lord gives him full facilities, but he becomes entangled in the resultant reactions. Similarly, if anyone wants to engage himself fully in devotional service, the Lord gives him full facilities and the devotee enjoys the results. The Lord is therefore Nanas Karma Phala Prada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashad Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Athaya Jata Yagnesham Kratubi Bhuri Dakshinai Dravya Kiya Devatanam Karma Karma Phala Pradam. As long he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifice, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are specially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all the sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. Hare Krishna. So this is first I will meditate on the 50% principle. I will go by my memory, you can locate the shlokas. Prabhupada says something very interesting. He says, as soon as the money accumulates in our Krishna consciousness movement, 50% of us, it should be given, spent for printing books, 50% for other expenditures, primarily the construction of the temples. So why did Prabhupada does this? This is written in a purport. As soon as money accumulates, those who have can locate the purport. Okay? As soon as money accumulates in our Krishna consciousness movement, and he says, Prabhupada says, if we do not do that, money will be the cause of limitation, illusion, and so many things. Okay? Somebody bright person locate this purport. It's interesting. This 50% principle is not only for, it's also for the temple managers. And then something even more interesting, Prabhupada says, as soon as a gentleman comes in a temple, we should feed him prasada. It says that. Locate this one. I'll tell you the words for this. First one, anybody locate it? Okay, now the second one. It says, the temple is managed by Radharani. It only requires expert management. Do not say it is finished. And Prabhupada also talks about the menu. In fact, if you go to Juhu temple on certain days, they have Prabhupada class in the Prabhupada quarters. And you hear Prabhupada class in Prabhupada state, the room is still preserved. After that, they give you on a puri, sabji, halwa, pakoda. That was Prabhupada menu. They will give you that special dish. So Prabhupada said that they should get. And you can add so many items. Interesting. So then, how these things will be accomplished? One side, Prabhupada is asking, vigorous preaching should happen. Vigorously preaching should happen. And both things should go balanced. One side we have attempt for preaching, one side we are building an infrastructure. As Prabhupada says, just like a train is going, it has two wheels. So our movement, both things should be balanced. We should not be only doing one activity, but there is no infrastructure. No. So you need to have book distribution, you need to have facilities, the infrastructure to preach. Both things should go balance, and that's very interesting how Prabhupada went about doing that. And then second thing he says, any person comes to the temple, particularly when a gentleman comes, he should get prasadam. We should never say it is finished. Now then, this is for the temples. Now for the people who are in the middle world, who are earning, for the grihasthas, I remember long time ago, we were in a big temple. So, lot of devotees got initiated, lot of grihasthas got initiated. And there was once they came to the temple and somebody asked, so I'm also grihastha now, I maybe not be living in a temple, but I'm initiated. So now you should consult me while taking decisions, because I'm also initiated. So I remember very interesting answers. Are you following the 50% principle of a grihastha? I'm not following, so now keep shut. So this also becomes unfollowing, because this is Prabhupada's instruction, not in a letter. If it is in a letter, then it is specific to a person. But this is not in a letter, this is in a purport. Purport means for all the people, for all the times. Okay, so anyway, so this is interesting. Also, anybody got me the quotation? Give me the link, Kurushi Mataji, so I can directly click. Okay. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yad juhosi dadasi yat. Dadasi means to give. So Krishna is saying, if you like to give it to me. So that means the person accepting charity should be pure enough to accept it for the Lord. Therefore, charity is always given as a seva, not as daya. Now, what generally happens today, people give charity, that is daya. Okay, that's good. You are punyatma, you are helping somebody. But the Vedic advice is a little more strict. Charity is given, if you read in the Bhagavad Gita, out of seva. Now, if you try, recently we also tried to use the crowdfunding platform, GoFundMe. If I was looking at that, the maximum charity that done is there. This person is about to die, we need money for his treatment. Here something is burned, we need to help, correct? So what has happened is that actually these activities are not for general public, this is for the government, the king to do. Correct? Just like any state, there is a disaster, the state comes into the picture, they say. But Prabhupada says something very interesting. He says, as far as Kshatriyas are concerned, they should never take charity, they should give charity. But it is reverse. Even in Mangalore city, I know some people, before they became politicians, they were very charitable to the temple. But after they became politicians, they don't give charity, they take. In fact, they are very infamous. They take money from so many people and never return, and the thing changes. So Prabhupada says, no, they should understand their situation. Okay. Who got it? Let me see. Okay, everybody is able to see this? Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. This is an amazing purport. Amazing means amazing. Many of you not have read. Okay, Supriti Mataji, can you read? A sannyasi. From a sannyasi should have an institution.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. A sannyasi should have an institution meant to preach Krishna consciousness. He need not accumulate money for himself. We recommend that as soon as money accumulates in a Krishna conscious movement, 50% of it should be invested in printing books and 50% for expenditures, especially in establishing centers all over the world. The managers of Krishna conscious movement should be extremely cautious in regard to this point. Otherwise, money will be the cause of lamentation, illusion, fear, anger, material attachment, material poverty, and unnecessary hard work. When I was alone in Vrindavana, I never attempted to construct mathas or temples. Rather, I was fully satisfied with the small amount of money I could gather by selling back to Godhead, and thus I would provide for myself and also print the literature. When I went to foreign countries, I lived according to the same principle. But when Europeans and Americans began to give money profusely, I started temples and deity worship. The same principle should be still followed. Whatever money is collected should be spent for Krishna and not a farthing for sense gratification. This is the Bhagavata principle.
Amazing. In fact, devotees have been meditating on this instruction for the last 50 years. This is not standalone. You find hundreds of instructions of Srila Prabhupada on this 50-50 principle. Therefore, Acharya, the founder Acharya, is not just who told some philosophy, okay, so many people are told philosophy. That's stupidity. An Acharya gives instruction, orders which have to be followed. For 10,000 years, these are the orders. Therefore, the least level of reading Prabhupada books is just reading for some, philosophy. That's the lowest level. Okay, good, but that's the lowest level. Actually, we should read Prabhupada books for the orders, because we are all his disciples. And look at the order. Now, an order like this, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada will not give. He is giving for Gaudiya Math, correct? He is the founder Acharya of that. Prabhupada is giving an order for his movement. This is current Acharya. Now, very interesting principle. In fact, there was once what happened, I was in charge of book distribution. So the temple president was more excited in constructing temples. So I had a debate with him. I said, see, so many people are joining. Why don't they join for book distribution? So he said, no, see, you are always typing most important, book distribution. So you get a set of instruction, book distribution most important. If I type deity worship most important, I'll get instruction for that. If I type prasada most, I'll get for that. You are just seeing your service. Everything is most important. I said, okay, everything is most important. What about this? And no answer for this. So actually we should be, see what happens, particularly when we have an opulent, beautiful temple by the grace of the Lord, we tend to relax. Just like I remember when everybody told me, you should get an IIT seat. Krishna's grace I got. And then I thought, I relax. And I stopped studying. Correct? This tendency is there. So we should always know that if this happens, it will have something known as Bagh Bajar effect. What is Bagh Bajar effect? It happens when Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada opened the headquarters office, Gaudiya Math. It was a marble palace made. And strangely enough, the sannyasis started fighting. These are all not 1 round, 2 round, 64 round chanting sannyasis. They started fighting. And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada saw that. He said, better sell this all marble in this place. So what is the lesson for us? Lesson for us is that if there is no intense sankirtana, like if after making the temple we think what business we should do to maintain this temple, maybe we should do this business, we should do this business, and we get enveloped by that and we forget to explode our preaching, correct? Particularly distribution of Prabhupada books, whole thing will collapse. Because Kali Purusha means fight. Only by Sankirtana this fighting spirit can be dissolved. Right? So now you look at this instruction, this, as soon as money accumulates. It doesn't say later. It doesn't say, maybe after 10 years. It says as soon as. And what you're supposed to do? 50% of it is invest in printing books immediately. What is the essence of printing books? That means use it for preaching. You should see that more and more people are introduced to Krishna consciousness, because this is a preaching movement. This movement is not just, and very interestingly Prabhupada is saying, I was in Vrindavan I could have built temple easily. In fact, printing a books is not cheap. I had some experience. I had to print one book. I had to really struggle because a simple book, say, today will cost you say 100 rupees per copy. You have to print minimum 5,000 or 10,000 to make the cost effective. That means 5 to 10 lakh rupees. It is very expensive. So for preaching, when you are making an investment, okay, times do change. Nowadays, books are already there in everybody's mobile. Hai? Our effort is to make people read books. But effort, investment in preaching has to be balanced with the investment in construction. We should not forget that. Otherwise, there is so much energy in preaching. Now in these books, what happens? The whole place gets stacked up. They will say 1 million copies of Bhagavad Gita here. What are you going to do then? Say, can you distribute these books? And very interesting thing is, you cannot distribute books without preaching. It's not easy. You cannot take a helicopter and throw books. And Prabhupada has banned ISKCON from giving his books free. It's not allowed. He cannot give his books free. Prabhupada objected many, many times. Take care. So you have to sell. Now when you sell, it is very purifying for the seller and very purifying a person who receives it. In fact, those who distributed books, it is such a pleasure when somebody says, okay, I'll buy it. It's, it looks like as if you have won a kingdom at that time. Okay. So even for the temples, in essence, this 50% principle is there, that they should organize their expenditures in such a way that they're actually printing a lot of books and distributing. Okay, so this is clear? Okay, now somebody look for the quote of Prabhupada on, this one? Oh, you got it? Now, have you read this or this is the first time? Okay, all of you read. I'm going to now show you something very interesting. Okay, amazing. Okay, now read the letter. Who is going to read it? Where our reader has gone? Supriti Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Letter to all from the beginning.
Yes.
This letter also since 50 years we are thinking, if all of you give blessings, we will be the first temple to implement the both orders, 50-50 order. In fact, I checked with many sannyasis. They said, if you do it, you'll be the first person to implement the 50-50 order. And now the second order which you want to implement. Yeah, read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Letter to all ISKCON temple presidents, Calcutta, 18 January 1977. To all ISKCON temple presidents, please accept my blessings. Now you must arrange in each temple, there must be sufficient stock of prasadam for distribution. You can keep first-class books, 2 or 3, and they should be always engaged. Whenever any guest comes, he must get prasada. This arrangement must be made that the cooks prepare 10-20 servings at a time of puris and sabji, and you can add halwa and pakoras, and the visitors must be supplied immediately. Whenever a gentleman comes, he must be served. As the 20 servings are being distributed, immediately the cooks prepare another 20 servings and store it. At the end of the day, if no one comes, our own men will take, say there is no loss. You cannot say it is finished, it is not cooked yet, there is no supply for cooking, etc. This must be enforced rigidly. The temple is managed by Srimati Radha Rani Lakshmi ji. So why should there be want? Our philosophy is, if anyone comes, let him take prasada, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Everything is being supplied by Krishna. Krishna is not poor, so why we should deny him? This should be done at any cost. There is no difficulty, it simply requires nice management. At the end of the day, you may sell or give away. If we believe that Krishna is providing and maintaining everyone, then why should we be misers? This means losing faith in Krishna and thinking that we are the doers and suppliers. We are confident Krishna will supply. Let the whole world come, we can feed them. So please do this nicely, begin at once. Hoping this meets you in all good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Begin at once. What is the order? Begin at once. So, so it cannot be done. Good management means there has to be planning. Everybody should be involved. Won't that be exciting if you implement these two orders? So that a person comes to the temple, nobody goes without taking a Prabhupada book, and nobody goes without taking prasada. Won't that be beautiful? Correct? So then, understanding these instructions, then how do we go about? So the first thing we should be very clear. The temple should be transparent in fulfilling the orders of Prabhupada. Then when we are charity in the Bhagavad Gita, it is a charity in mode of ignorance. So mostly people give charity in mode of, I was just studying in the big charities, they mostly give charity for some kind of a help, and these charities, not bad, but these are not in Sattva-guna also, they are in Rajoguna. Charity in Tamoguna, they give it for some, generally people do not do that, at least that much sense is there, but generally they are given Rajoguna. Sattva-guna is also rare to a worthy person at the right time with respect. No, that is respect. In a society, people lack respect for anybody, so there is no question of a charity in a mode of goodness. Everybody feels he is the best person possible on earth. So why you should give charity? He expects charity. I was teaching in schools and colleges, so I used to give them Japamala as a gift sometimes, prasadam. They never felt, that it is unusual, because children and young people, they do feel that people should take care of them. They are special. But as they grow up, then they develop the maturity. So charity is actually given when we respect somebody. In the Vedic culture, imagine, education was free. And after the education, people used to give dakshina. That is beautiful. And dakshina is choice of somebody. It is given out of respect. Given out of respect. And person is feeling very happy that my money is being used for a good purpose. I may not have time to do something. Just like I told you that example, one person was distributing books house to house, and he met one man one day. He said, second time you're coming to my house. That happened in Madurai. A wonderful devotee, Shankadari Prabhu, he had this master. And he said, coming second time to my house, he looked to be a very sincere person. I have a land next to my house. I wanted to build a temple. I'll give it to you. Will you build a temple? So like this is called charity, out of respect. Yes, my money or land is being used for a good purpose, and a person feels very happy. Yes, something good is happening. I'm not directly able to do, but I met so many people and I said, why don't you give charity? He said, why have to do through you? Why have to do through you? I'll do directly. So generally that is the picture generally people have, because there is no respect. Why is he speaking like that? Because there is no respect. So charity, there is a difference between daya and seva. Prabhupada says we should starve but not live by daya. But we can take seva. People participate in the preaching. We take seva. Yes. So, but at the same time, if we are not pure, because Kshatriya, as Prabhupada says, should not take charity. What is the meaning of a Kshatriya? One of the principles is he is in Rajoguna. A person in Rajoguna, Tamoguna should not take. So person should be pure. He should not feel that he is a parasite in the society. Rather, the very principle Brahmanas used to be given charity in the Vedic time. What will the Brahmana be doing? He is living a very simple life. So that principle we should not forget. Very simple life. But he will be contributing a lot to the society. He is not just sleeping like today we have. I'm a Brahmana, please feed me. Why should anybody do that? And Prabhupada did in the Vrindavan when he saw the Babajis. Prabhupada said, can you believe? Prabhupada said, can you give them some kuladi? At least they should make their own food. What is this? Just sitting, doing no preaching activity, just sitting and with a mala and put a plate in front, correct? You have seen that? Please put some food or put some money and I will just chant. Prabhupada said, what is this? In fact, Prabhupada never recommended that. Not only Prabhupada did not like their parasitic nature, Prabhupada also said it is not possible in Kali Yuga just to sit and chant. So a person should actually, so what in the Vedic time the Brahmanas are given chant, what they were doing? They're contributing to the society in so much ways. And most important, education. In the way today, people talk about free food and free education, correct? Vedic time it was there. Because temples, people are giving charity. And temples are organizing that the Brahmanas are there who give free education. You know, people in a village give a house to a Brahmana, a simple place to stay, that becomes a Gurukul. Everybody sends the children. And he's so pure in character, not only gives them education based on Varnashrama, he also builds their character. There is no asset like that. Free, no charges, free education. At the end, yes, Dakshina, you can give. Just like Krishna asked Sandipuni Muni, out of gratitude. Dakshina is not given as a salary, out of gratitude. What can I do? But Sandipuni Muni looked at Krishna. He said, asking you, get my son. And Krishna, I told you as previously, Krishna did impossible thing possible. He got the dead son back. He can do that. He went to Yamaraj to bury the child and gave him the same kind of form, brought that soul back and kept it. Yeah, here is your son, take. He could not even believe, but that is Krishna. Similarly, we had Dronacharya asked that get me the half the kingdom of Drupada. And they have some story what happened. And Kauravas could not do that. Pandavas did that, got the half kingdom. So in this way, the charity was there out of respect and gratitude. So it is always the people accepting charity should maintain good character and pure. So people out of happiness they give. At the same time, there is charity in goodness, but transcendental charity, the money is actually given for the glorification of the Lord. What is it given for? The glorification. So I showed two angles the temple should also be balanced. Not that temple accepts the charity and everybody eat nicely and sleep. No. Print books, you cannot sleep them. You find anybody sleeping, I'll give you 20,000 Gitas, go and sell them. And unless he is spiritually healthy, he cannot sell books. Your health comes out, you know. See, suppose we are sitting here, we are talking only to devotees. We can speak 24 hours, people will listen. Take care. But when you are going for preaching a new person, your strength comes out. Go, give your Gita, go on the street, let us see. It's very, very difficult. You have to be humble. Book distribution makes very humble. First thing you learn humility. Second thing, you are approaching a man who doesn't know Krishna consciousness. Correct? Now the second challenge comes. Okay, please, my dear sir, are you interested? I am not interested. You have to convince him. So it's a preaching movement. And Prabhupada used to say, what your 3-minute preaching will do, if he buys one book, his life will change. Yeah. Therefore, we used to tell in our 18-day course, at least at the end of your course, person should buy a book. If he doesn't do that, then Prabhupada quotation will come, what your 3-minute preaching will do, if he reads one page of the book, his life will change. Because there is a lot of difference. Somebody hears Srila Prabhupada, an empowered Acharya, this person, Prabhupada will know how to convince anybody. Sometimes it happens, we are trying to convince somebody, we can't, then what do? We take him to some senior devotee, Prabhupada, can you talk to him? So directly we are taking somebody to Prabhupada. There is going to be a total impact. So in this way we should understand how the preaching should be balanced. A distribution of books and distribution of prasada. Now both of them you have to work hard. Distribution of prasada, you have to cook, you have to see it is served or you have to serve. And distribution of books, it's not possible. It requires a lot of energy. So temple should be engaged in vigorous preaching and making people devotees. And at the same time, the grihasthas should be ensure that what they earn, they give. In fact, Prabhupada never forced anybody. Somebody asks, oh, I'm taking initiation, am I forced? No. Prabhupada never forced anybody. But at the same time, he encouraged. Okay. In fact, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, there was one devotee named Kolovechara Sridhara. He was hardly earning anything. And still 50% of that he used to use it to worship Mother Ganga every day. And Lord Chaitanya blessed him for his kind of tapasya. Okay? So it is not that it is impossible, it is always possible, but at the same time, in Kali Yuga, we don't begin at there. This is for an advanced grihastha whose sacrifice is now coming to the platform of a full-time devotee. Correct? Sometimes people are at home chanting, I've also become initiated, yeah, but where is the sacrifice? Nobody will listen to you if there is no sacrifice. You know, our people don't respect. People respect when they see he has sacrificed. So I may not be able to dedicate, just like we have here, we have such a big setup. How do you think it is going to run? Correct? So we want hundreds of devotees to come and dedicate their life. I'm asking every class, but people have, let me, my pota also get married. Theek hai, do all that. See all the things, situation. Sometimes it happens, the whole family may not be together in it. No, let me earn this much more, let me earn this much more. It'll never end. You will come at something like 80, 90 years, when you are, instead of doing anything, you are a burden. And then there was in Prabhupada used to joke about Vrindavan. He said many people go to Vrindavan, all their money they distribute to their children and family members, and they come with bead. So, Krishna, for you my bead is there. So Prabhupada, so where do we begin? So Prabhupada said, beginning is very simple. Accept the charity of giving, just like Vaman Deva asked charity to Bali Maharaj. He asked 3 steps. We cannot do like Bali Maharaj. If it's charity, we should do like Bali Maharaj. That's an example for ready to give everything to the Lord. We cannot do like that. We are not at the platform of realization. Neither 100%, neither 50%. Brahmachari means 100%. He gives his whole life to Krishna. Okay? The brahmachari also doesn't have any savings or anything. It's a brahmachari life. Now, so the first principle is that we should do is that we should accept to give to the Lord 3 names. What are the 3? Instead of 3 steps, 3 names. Hare, Krishna and Nama. Very nicely said by devotee. So we can do that charity, begin at that. Correct? When the courses are starting, we are not asking anybody. We say the courses are all free. Okay? So person begins by chanting the 3 words, Hare Krishna Nama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as he begins chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, what will happen? 2 things will happen. He develop attraction for Krishna and he develop detachment from this world. Correct? And he will be able to understand how he is not body, he is a spirit soul. And then on this platform, charity will start. In fact, at this platform when he reaches, Brahmabhuta Prasanata, he is so joyful. And then automatically what happens is that his life becomes very simple. His needs, his demands, everybody in society. I remember a long time ago, I was asking somebody that he can help us, we have to construct a temple. And he said, Prabhuji, I will see. And a few days later, the person purchased 2 crore rupee car. So because he is totally materialistic, so what he will do? Okay? So he cannot, his mind is still not purified. So charity is not possible unless somebody is blessed by the Lord. You cannot just say, I will give charity on my own. It's just like many people, we say, Aho batoso pacho bigariyane ya jivagre vartate nama tuvyam. Srila Radha Govinda ki jai. So it's not easy. So it is so much beneficial to chant the holy name of the Lord. It is not easy to chant the holy name of the Lord. It's very difficult. But if you are blessed by your devotees, blessed by the Lord, blessed by your good association, you begin chanting. And therefore it is say, Aho batosu pachobi garyani ya jivagre varte namatubhyam tepat tapas jhushu arya brahmanu churu nam gridanti yete. He must have done tapasya in his previous life. He must have done some great, worship of the Lord in the previous time. He must have done all the yagnas, homas. He must have visited all the tirthas. Hai na? Brahmanuchur, he must have studied all the Vedic literature. How is this person chanting the holy name of the Lord? It is not ordinary. It is actually by association of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. Because once devotees asked Srila Prabhupada this question, Prabhupada, you were born in America. Definitely we didn't do some tapasya, anything in our life. Have you done? We are not even born in this nasty place, as Prabhupada said. Why did you bring me to this wretched place? So you not be born in a wretched place if you have done some punyas. You must have not done punya. Otherwise you are born in holy land of Bharatvarsha or in Devaloka, or you would have gone back to Godhead. So we have not done all these activities. But how is it that we are chanting the holy name? Correct? They asked Prabhupada this question. Prabhupada said, I give you all. The same thing is actually true for us. We were not, look at our own life previous we took to Krishna consciousness, there was not even a sense of piety in it. Correct? No sense of piety. Everything below the roof sinful activity was possible for us. Had it not been come to Prabhupada's movement, every sinful activity on earth would have happened from our hand. And we would have gone to Naraka. So we cannot say that Tepa, Tapa, Jumsushunarya, nothing was there. Because we serve the mission of a pure devotee, actually we are able to chant Hare Krishna mantra. We are able to chant Hare Krishna mantra. So there was once a devotee whose name is George Harrison. And devotees approached him. Shyamasundara was there in England. Somehow they became very friendly. And actually at that moment for ISKCON to explode and became a household name, he did a great contribution. He was not famous, extremely famous, George Harrison. Today we do not know because this is 60 years before. Everybody knew him. And actually he chanted, My Sweet Lord, so many songs. And Shyamasundara approached him. In fact, Hare Krishna mantra, even the Govinda Madhyapuruša background music was given by him. So devotees approached him that we want to print this Krishna book. And you see, very rarely Prabhupada writes any name in his books. Have you seen it? He doesn't write. Very careful. But you see in the Krishna book, his name is there. Not only that, Prabhupada put forward by him. In fact, he wrote the forward, then he sent to Prabhupada, Prabhupada edited it, corrected it, and then placed it in his book, a forward by, George Harrison. Very interesting. And in that, you can see how nicely he's writing. Okay? Everybody is looking for Krishna, but they don't know. Very nicely written. So Prabhupada writes that, and in a letter to him, he sponsors the whole book, some huge donation. So Prabhupada said, we are on the same platform. You have sponsored the book, and I am writing the book. So it's actually not an ordinary activity, the giving a charity, because it accomplishes an activity. Now, we may desire to build a temple. If people don't give charity, how it can be built? So he's also on an equal platform to see for the Lord. That person is also getting credit in devotion service. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, particularly in the Vedic time, were giving charity. You saw holding huge events. Now there is Janmashtami function, there is inauguration. So many events are happening. Who will see it happens? The Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. They used to see it happens. Okay? So they were playing the role in the society. We see Nanda Maharaj also, when Krishna is born, is holding a huge festival and distributing charity means with both hands. So that used to be the principle. And here also, there was one Bhaksanda Prabhupada was walking with the disciples and they went to some temple, so nobody gave charity. So Bhaksanda Prabhupada came back, they said, see, you Grihastha, you should have given, because they were all earning people, you should have given. So sometimes it happens, we feel that I'm just chanting, so I'm doing the spiritual activity. So that's enough. Yeah, that's enough if we are not advanced. But if we are advanced, yagna dana tapas chaiva pavanani manishinaha. It purifies, yagna dana tapa purifies everybody. It is for my own purification. Because it helps me to get detached You know? Because see, when we like somebody, like the girls and boys when they like each other, the boy gives to the girl the dearest thing he has, happily gives. And the girl also gives to him the dearest thing, the gift. So similarly, we give to Krishna the dearest thing that we have. And what we are attached to, we are very attached to money. Money, money sweeter than honey. Okay? So we give where we offer respect. Yes, this money will go for service to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Our Krishna's grace, our temple has come in a very unique way. When the money came profusely, something like that happened. We had never, we never did it actually, going to rich people collecting money, we never did. And somehow by selling books, some temples are built of ISKCON, like Tirupati. This temple got built by preaching Bhagavad Gita, and that is the credit. And almost we are done with it now. We are almost to the last stages of the temple. And I was feeling at this stage, if people can complete their sevas which they committed, and if the Krishna gives them the blessing, they can take up some more sevas. And somebody was joking, people leave all the money for their children's. But the children, what they will do with it? Free money means generally it is misused for sinful activities. They will earn. You don't have to so much worry about that. We should rather feel that how I can use it for a good, but it cannot be possible unless we have the blessings. So anyway, so opportunity to do new sevas, opportunity for completing the sevas. And we also started something, crowdfunding. Crowdfunding means you can share the links of the donation that you are regularly getting with your friends, okay? Both in India and abroad. You can do that, that will help. In fact, many people, they could raise personally, say X amount, they could get the same amount from their relatives, because many friends and relatives, they are also happy to donate to a temple, they feel. And at least they do something. In that way, they may not be able to chant Hare Krishna immediately. At least they are able to do some service to Krishna, and that will accumulate their punya. So one day they will be able to begin devotion service. Like in Bhagavad Gita, there are different standards if you see. The first standard in Bhagavad Gita is somebody should be absorbed in service to Krishna. 12th chapter, 15th chapter. 15th chapter? Kaun sa chapter? 12th or 15th? 12, 12.8. 12.8, be absorbed in Krishna's service. But Krishna says, Atakityam samadhatu na shaknoshi maistiram. You cannot fix your mind on me. Abhyasu yogena tato. Do sadhana. That's the second platform. Okay, I can do sadhana. If you're not able to do that, then what I can do? I can help the devotees who are trying to serve Krishna. Okay, I may be doing sadhana. That's wonderful, that's great. But yagnana tapaschava, pavanani manishina, it's always purifying. Okay? So I'm not able to do that also, not to help the devotee. Okay? I can, because of certain reasons, I don't believe in Krishna. You tell. So sarva karma phala tyaga. The person gives his money for punya. So generally our friends and well-wishers, they will be on the fourth category. There are many people we know, they are rich, they donate. They donate for some poor, hungry child. It's not bad. It's good. Punya activity. But you can encourage them. And because of maybe your own word, they may not have that intention because they don't know Seva. Oh no, a beautiful temple is coming. Whatever. It changed my life, something. And you can share. What happens at that moment? Even because of obligation to you, he may do a small amount. Then that begins his devotion service. Because that kind of an activity, it used to happen in Bangalore. I used to travel for life membership when the construction was going on. So to meet people, strangers. Now here we are not doing that at all in this, our effort. We are actually approaching our devotees only, and they have directly benefited by the preaching. So they are part of the temple and they are happily doing. So we used to go and meet them anyway. And then many people used to be very pious, very happily give a donation. I'm so privileged and giving the donation to a beautiful temple coming up. I said, so nice. So then I used to sit down. So what? I used to preach them for half an hour Krishna consciousness, or go to their house later. The people who are very favorable, and whole family tell them about chanting Hare Krishna. So by actually giving donation, your friends and relatives will feel purified. They get blessed. And then if you approach them to chant Hare Krishna, they will easily take up. Suppose you tell somebody chant Hare Krishna, it doesn't take up, but he can always do some service, and then it becomes easier. It also says, heart goes where money goes. So if you engage your friends and relatives, they'll ask, oh, what is happening? The temple is finished or not? Because they feel. And when they come to the temple sometime, they'll feel, yeah, I was part of building this temple. And not one. When the millions of people come to take darshan of the temple, take prasadam, take Prabhupada books, you get a credit for every visitor, So in that way, you can now take this now and encourage all your friends and relatives. So that will become crowdfunding. And if we can do that, the last stage we are almost near now. It's not even 2 months remaining, but we will cross over the contractors will not work without money. Correct? Somebody was telling me, Krishna will provide. So somebody says, sir, where is my money? Don't worry, Krishna will provide. We cannot tell this to them. We have to pay them. So we can now, maybe Krishna is asking us to engage as much people as possible. That is, Krishna doesn't need money from us. He can build the temple himself. He's engaging us. Just like a Lord Rama was building Rama Setu, it is not for him. He doesn't need Ram Setu. It is an engagement. So it's an engagement for us. Now, as a service, try to engage every person you know. Links are coming to you daily. Share them with your friends, even abroad. You can share with them. For them, $100, $1,000 mean nothing. They can easily do. So share everywhere, left, right, center. So let us put the last effort, engaging all our friends and relatives, and that way we cross over the final hurdle and we see a temple open. Hare Krishna everybody. Thank you. Challenge, the challenger, शाम को, हिंदी का क्लास शाम को है. Thank you everybody. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhuve cha patitana pavani viveshamanam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Everybody has booked the tickets. Please book your tickets.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Long back we had done Prabhu. Long back.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhuve cha patitana pavani viveshamanam. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.